today, and it's all about her complicated relationship with her faith. She's got problems with her brother, her dad, and in the next part of the conversation, you're going to hear more about her mother, the one that Tanika loves, but has also been hurt by. So more with Jill Deacon and Tanika Charles in a moment. But first, here's Tanika's song, Don't Like You Anymore. I've heard all the stories.
"向右转，
see a therapist for sure, because I just lived this life, incredibly busy, so I don't really have time to think of what actually happened growing up. And a lot happened, and we just functioned. But those moments of silence, when all of these memories are coming back, there was a point where I'd message my younger brother, and I'm like, do you remember when this happened? Do you remember when Mom did this? Do you recall, having to hide in the closet because child services was, the neighbors had called child services on us, and, he doesn't have any recollection. Our experiences are so incredibly different. So the courage to call out a family member for pain that you've experienced on their account is something that a lot of people find hard to summon, even with therapy.
行驶400米后，向左转上匝道。
And in a record, I mean, do you remember the moment where you decided, I think I'll write songs in letter form? Do you remember when this seemed like a good idea? Yeah, it's been
向左转上匝道。
3 albums before. I'm talking about love and relationships, and I didn't want to talk about that anymore. I wanted to perhaps speak about love, but on a deeper level, and how we function and how we adjust and how we move in this lifetime with hurt, and how we project ourselves to album. He's like, Tanika, you have a lot going on. You have a lot that you can talk about. And I think that this would be the best time. When I finally sat down with a friend of mine, it was over a summer, and we would listen to music, and she's like, what does this song make you feel like? And I would just kind of run down my entire life, like I entrusted this person with a lot of information. And we would just write, she would write and listen, and then I'd write, and we'd just kind of take ideas from what I was kind of expressing to her. And I remember she was asking me about my mom, and I'm like, you know what, I love her so much, but I don't like her. She's like, that's what we're going to work on. So that's how that song came to be.
I know in an interview that you did with Angeline Tetueo on the blog here at CBC, you mentioned that when you told your dad about the record, he said, make sure you don't tell people about your mom.
That's right.
So what did he think when he heard that song and the whole album?
I think he knows that that's what it's about. My dad's an interesting character. Even if he knew, he wouldn't say anything to me. I think he listens to music more than words. I haven't heard anything from my family members, so I don't know. Or maybe they know something and they don't want to talk to me about it.
But they've all heard the record.
They've heard the record. Yeah, my younger brother said, this is your best work, and I'm so proud of it. I love it. I'm happy to talk about this. But yeah, I've yet to, find out what.
Well, if they listen to CBC, they might know now.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just lay it on the table here. We're going to play another song. what kind of a catalyst this album might be in your family. I mean, that's for future conversation. But I mean, the courage you have. I mean, it's like I'm super stating the obvious here, but woman, you such a courageous thing, and it's extraordinary. That makes me wonder about the therapeutic, maybe is the word, cathartic aspect of doing this.
Yep.
Do you feel changed by having unbottled some of these stories with your friend and turned them into art and playing them more and releasing them? I mean, do you feel...
Absolutely.
I mean, you said you maybe need to go to therapy. I feel like you're kind of freestyling it and doing your own version of it. Artist therapy here.
Yeah, 100%. And I'm surprised that that's how it feels. You know, while there's still a little bit of fear with having released this album, every time I hear it, or every time we perform it, it feels good. When the set is done and the response from listeners is incredibly positive, and really interesting to find out that a lot of people are dealing with stuff. So, not to, like, I don't want to trauma bond with anyone. I just, you know, to be able to discuss similar situations and, you know, kind of encouraging each other to just maybe seek therapy. Be a little bit open and more loving with each other. You know, you don't know what anyone's going through, kind of thing. It's always a relief. It's always a relief to sing these songs and get a really beautiful response.
And to feel and see how much you're connecting with people.
Those are the words I was looking for. Yes, connection.
I mean, it feels like it's not about, I interpret it as it's not trauma bonding, it's authenticity.
Yeah.
Which I feel everybody craves more perhaps now than ever. And you did that. You took off any artifice and you just said, here it is. And that's what people want and do connect with.
Yeah.
I can't, anyways, I've said it enough already perhaps, but bravo on just an amazing record and on the extraordinary process you had to go through to make it.
I really appreciate that. Thank you. Thanks for letting me cry and say what needs to be said. I'm so glad to have shared this with you.
Me too, Tanika. Thank you.
majority of what's in the test kitchen. Then the third season came out, and there were a lot of mixed reviews. Some critics called it unbelievably frustrating. You're going to see how this fourth season measures up to the last one.
This is CBC News. It's cloudy and 19 in Calgary at 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Jocelyn Kozak. Died in an overnight house fire in northeast Calgary. A teen and an adult who had escaped from the second floor onto the roof in Taradale were rescued by firefighters. 2 adults who were in the basement were able to escape. 2 others are being treated in hospital. The fire is not considered suspicious. Canada may be seeing fewer American visitors this spring, but Calgary is proving to be the outlier. The CBC's Joel Dryden has more.
Rob Philby is managing partner of the Rose and Crown Canmore. He says he's seeing the uptick in American travelers firsthand.
It definitely started, I'd say, in the wintertime. The American dollar was so strong.
The tourism industry has been hit hard amid tensions between the U.S. and Canada. Alicia Reynolds is president with Tourism Calgary.
And we've made a concerted effort through all of this noise to target U.S. travelers to reinforce our city and our province as destinations of choice.
There was a 6% drop in U.S. residents arriving at all major Canadian airports in April 2025 compared to April last year. However, at the Calgary International Airport, the picture was completely different, with U.S. arrivals up 29%. Airport officials attribute that to a number of factors, including major event activity and a favorable currency exchange for U.S. travelers. Joel Dryden, CBC News, Calgary.
With Canada set to spend more on defense, local company FH Munition wants to become a primary provider to the Canadian military. Canada will spend 5% of GDP on defense by 2035. FH Munition currently makes pistol and rifle bullets for police departments and sport shooters. Taryn Gray is the VP of Business Development.
The sky's the limit. Right now we have 2 production lines, one for pistol, one for rifle. We have room for 4 more production lines. So we could increase our shifts from 1 to 3, and we could increase our production lines from 2 to 6. So it's an 800% increase, and it would be fairly effortless to do so, because a lot of our processes are automated.
Gray says adding new caliber ammunition is also easy to do if that's what the Canadian military wants. Controversial former Conservative Member of Parliament Rahim Jaffer is now running for Edmonton Mayor. As Emily Williams reports, this comes after years out of the public eye.
Let's turn hope into reality.
Rahim Jaffer left public life nearly 15 years ago after making headlines for years for controversies such as a phony interview, a traffic violation, and a finding that he broke federal lobbying rules. Now, he says Edmonton business owners are facing delays and insurmountable costs. And sitting on the political sidelines is no longer an option for him.
But I think one of the things people want is definitely they want change at City Hall, and they want some experience.
Former Edmonton MP Ian McClelland served alongside Jaffer and was surprised to hear the news.
My initial reaction is, why would he want to put himself into that position? And my secondary reaction was, everyone deserves a second chance.
Jaffer says he's different than other candidates who share his ideology because he hasn't spent years working in city council chambers. Emily Williams, CBC News, Edmonton. The Carney government's major projects bill could be passed by the Senate today. However, some senators are expressing reservations on whether Bill C-5 ignores the rights of Indigenous people. Ottawa plans to meet next month with Indigenous organizations, but Senator Patrick Brazeau has questions about that too.
Wouldn't it be important to have clarification on why the meeting is taking place with Indigenous organizations when those 5 Indigenous organizations in Canada are not the rights holders of anything? They are political lobby organizations.
The AFN national chief is urging the Senate to delay passing the bill to allow more time for study. That's your CBC News. Here's Angela Knight now to update traffic.
If you're heading out of the city westbound on the Trans-Canada today, just be aware it's a pretty slow go as you're approaching Range Road 33. So that's right around Callaway Park. Crews are doing some road work in that area, and traffic is very, very slow right from about Valley Ridge, Crestmont. If you see a traffic problem anytime, please send us a text. The number is 825-982-9880.
A mix of sun and clouds for Calgary today. A chance of showers this afternoon. We're
from being a less Carney-centered show. And, you know, and go, but like, I don't mind Carney-centered, but it's a lot of repeat. Like, if Carney's dealing with the same messiness that he dealt with in season 1, you know, it's not. Like, he's trying to move forward in this season, but he's
drama.
therapy. Honestly, I don't know, the man just needs to go to see a therapist, to be honest. Like, that should be the season.
Yeah.
But I think you either go that way, you either do kind of what The Office did when Michael Scott left and Steve Carell left, and you focus on the other characters, or, I'll be honest, you shut the whole thing down, because to me, this is a show that it's so intense. It was so refreshing when it came out, but it was a really, really intense show. It was the most intense television we'd all seen in quite a while.